What's up, everyone? Welcome to yet another episode of Hockey on the Spot with Brandon Marenfeld. I'm Brandon Marenfeld. Thank you for joining me today. This is episode 89 of Hockey on the Spot. Yesterday, obviously, was Tuesday, and Tuesday is always very active in the NHL. So we got a few updates and 8 games from last night, plus this day in hockey history from October 30th. So let's get down to it. Starting with a further update on the trade between the New York Islanders and the Buffalo Sabres, the Thomas Vanek trade, and the Buffalo media is reporting that the Sabres have retained 19.5% of Thomas Vanek's $6.4 million salary, $1.2248 million, and a $7.14 million cap hit, $1.392 million. This is likely why the Sabres receive first and second round picks along with Molson for Vanek. There's going to be another further update. There will be a further update on that in a little bit here. Just some other updates. Edmonton Oilers forward Sam Gagner did return to Edmonton's lineup last night with a full face mask against the Toronto Maple Leafs and centered Nail Yakupov and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. So that was a big upgrade for the Edmonton Oilers to get one of their best players back. If only the game had gone well for them. We'll talk more about that. Pittsburgh Penguins forward Chuck Kobasu will miss 3 to 4 weeks with a lower body injury. Calgary Flames defenseman and captain Mark Giordano will miss 6 to 8 weeks with a broken ankle. That's a big loss for their blue line and for their team. They're now without their captain. So that hopefully he'll have a healthy return. New York Rangers forward Carl Hagelin made his season debut last night against the New York Islanders after recovering from off-season shoulder surgery. They really missed his speed, and it was really helpful in last night's game. Talk more about that later. The Tampa Bay Lightning are flying under the radar, and that's the way Steven Stamkos likes it. It's probably the quietest 8-3 record in the league, and we like it that way, according to Steven Stamkos. The Lightning have tied with the Boston Bruins for best record in the Eastern Conference, and not a lot of people really have talked much about the Lightning, but eventually people will if they continue to do as well as they're doing. As of last night, 100 days to go until the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi, 99 days to go today. I hope Wayne Gretzky is listening. Projected 2016 NHL Draft. Projected first overall pick for the 2016 NHL Draft, Tyler Benson will make his CHL debut on November 16th with the Western Hockey League's Vancouver Giants. Benson, now 15 years old, shattered records in Bantam, registering 146 points in just 33 games. That is an unbelievable mark, and he's going to be an excellent addition for the Vancouver Giants. We'll see if he can hold that potential first overall draft spot. Obviously, that's 3 years away, 2 drafts away, so we'll see how that goes. Tim Lewicki is the CEO and president of the MLSE. CEO and president of MLSE is reunited and promised that the Toronto Maple Leafs will win a Stanley Cup. We all remember the parade route that he mapped out in July. He is back again and saying, could not be more excited about the parade route, and will throw you one, I promise. That is what he had to say on that note. The Boston Bruins made a visit to the Boston Children's Hospital, decked out in Halloween costumes. Dougie Hamilton, Matt Bartkowski, and Riley Smith. That is just an excellent work of charity and something to be commemorated. Now, more details about the Sabres-Islanders trade that sent Thomas Vanek to the New York Islanders from Buffalo for Matt Molson, a first-round pick in 2014 and a second-round pick in 2015, along with Buffalo retaining 19.5% of Vanek's contract. The Islanders will have the option to defer the 2014 first-round draft pick to 2015 if the pick ends up being a top 10 selection in June. With the way the Sabres have been playing this season, that looks to be a more than likely scenario if the season obviously were to end today. But we'll see how things turn out as the season continues. Teams change. Teams do change, and that is the announcement of the day. So we'll see how that works out. And that is all the updates for today, folks. Let's now get to the games. 8 games last night. So let's talk about it, shall we? Starting with the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders. The rivalry between both New York teams. Rangers right back on the road after losing their home opener via a 2-0 shutout to the Montreal Canadiens a couple nights ago. Right back at it, second straight night. Right back on the road, but not having to go far this time. It's only one road game. They'll be back home again on Halloween, and it's right across the way to Long Island. The New York Islanders and New York Rangers' first game of the season. The only time the two teams will be meeting at Nassau Coliseum this year. In that game, a couple of special things going on. For the New York Rangers, Carl Hagelin, off of the long-term injured reserve, making his 2013-2014 NHL season debut. He joins the Rangers lineup to add some more speed and forechecking ability to their lineup. And for the New York Islanders, Thomas Vanek making his New York Islander debut. Matt Moulson made his Buffalo Sabres debut last night and a couple nights ago against the Dallas Stars and had 2 goals in the game. Thomas Vanek makes his New York Islanders debut, and unlike Matt Moulson's debut, he goes straight zeros across the board, just 1 shot on goal and 2 hits and 1 blocked shot. That's all Thomas Vanek did. He was relatively quiet. Him and John Tavares both shut down in the game as the New York Rangers went on to power their way to a 3-2 victory in their only trip to the Nassau Coliseum this year, and Carl Hagelin played a big role in that. For the New York Rangers, their power play, a big reason as to their victory. For the New York Rangers, their goals, 2 of their 3 goals coming on the power play, including their first goal scored by Chris Kreider. Chris Kreider finally getting that long-awaited first goal of the season. He really deserved it with the way he had been playing since he's been called up. He gets his first of the year. It's a power play goal assisted by Brad Richards and Derek Stepan. Then after that, after the New York Islanders took a 2-1 lead, the third period was all Rangers, starting with the second power play goal of the game by Ryan McDonagh, his second of the year, and his first career power play goal. Kreider's power play goal was also the first power play goal of his career, assisted by Derek Stepan and Matt Zuccarello. So Derek Stepan, 2 assists on the night. His goal-scoring slump continues. However, he gets 2 assists and ends a 5-game point-scoring slump. And then Benoit Pouliot would get his second of the night, the eventual game-winning goal, assisted by Carl Hagelin and Michael Del Zotto. For those 2, respectively, their first assists of the season and first points of the season. Michael Del Zotto had been held off the score sheet in every game he had played up until this one. Cam Talbot right back in goal as Alain Vigneault feeling that Lundqvist is not ready to play back-to-back coming off an injury. And the Prince, as people are starting to call him, played very well. 22 saves on 24 shots, a .917 save percentage. Congratulations to him. The New York Rangers, the shots in the game even. Nobody really had a standout night as far as shots on goal are concerned. The most was 3 by multiple players. Lots of penalty minutes in the game, though, for the New York Rangers. They had the guy on their team with the most penalty minutes in the game. Derek Dorsett would have 15 minutes in penalties in the game, a fighting major and a 10-minute misconduct in the final minute and as the game ended. We'll talk about the New York Islanders penalties in a second. First, let's go over their goals. Both New York Islander goals coming in the second period. The first one being scored by Cal Clutterbuck, his first goal in a New York Islanders sweater, assisted by Matt Carkner. For Matt Carkner, that's his first point of the season. So congratulations to Cal Clutterbuck on his first goal in an Islanders sweater. Big trade acquisition from the Minnesota Wild. And then Peter Regan, with under a minute to go in the second, would get his second of the season, assisted by Travis Hamonic and Andrew McDonald. Evgeny Nabokov played okay, not as good as Talbot. They also faced 24 shots, but where Cam Talbot made 22 saves, Evgeny Nabokov made 21, an .875 save percentage. And for the New York Islanders, as far as penalties are concerned, John Tavares, of all people, getting the most penalty minutes. A 2-minute roughing minor against Derek Dorsett and a 10-minute misconduct. But that wasn't all. Kyle Oposo, 6 minutes in penalties. Matt Martin, 5 minutes in penalties. Yeah, so one of the most physical games we've seen from a Ranger-Islander matchup in a very long time. Carl Hagelin, again, his presence for the New York Rangers continues to be a force. Their record when he scores a point, goal, or 2 or more points in a game is just unbelievable. They barely ever lose. They've only lost in regulation twice when Carl Hagelin gets a point, or maybe even 3 times. And in overtime and shootout, I believe only 2 or 3 times as well. So, as long as Carl Hagelin's getting up on the board, the New York Rangers are going to be very successful. So congratulations to them on a huge win over arguably their arch rivals. And a spoiled debut for Thomas Vanek. Next, we have, also another update from that New York Rangers game. Dominic Moore leaving the game after the first period with an upper body injury, I think, or a lower body injury, as he collided with New York Islander forward Casey Cizikas. Hopefully he will make a quick and healthy return. Next, we have the Anaheim Ducks and the Philadelphia Flyers in Philadelphia, a game that the Flyers looked like they were going to dominate. They took a 2-0 lead in the game. The Anaheim Ducks, however, defying all the odds once again and coming back to win by a final score of 3-2. They just continue to be a force in the National Hockey League. Coming off a big game against Columbus, they have another strong performance against the Philadelphia Flyers. Jonas Hiller getting the start in goal for this one. He was very good after Frederik Andersen had played the two straight games. Hiller back in net to try to redeem himself. And at first it didn't start out well, but then his teammates came through. In the Anaheim Ducks, after they surrendered a 2-0 lead, their goals started to come. Andrew Cogliano would get it started for the Ducks on a goal assisted by Ryan Getzlaf. And then Kyle Palmieri would score 2 goals in the game-tying goal and the game winner to give the Ducks complete control. His first goal, a breakaway goal, unassisted, and then his game-winning goal would be assisted by Nick Bonino and Sami Vatanen. Again, Jonas Hiller gets the start in goal, making 26 saves on 28 shots and .929 save percentage. He was very good in the game. How about Corey Perry, though? 8 shots on goal in the game. That led all players for either team. And Patrick Maroon had 5 shots on goal. So, shooting gallery for the Ducks, Kyle Palmieri with 4. He obviously converted on 2. So, big night for them. For the Philadelphia Flyers, again, they did take a 2-0 lead in the game. Both goals coming in the first period. The first goal being scored by Matt Reed, who's after starting off the season in bad shape, now has a goal-scoring streak of 3 straight games, his third of the year, assisted by Wayne Simmons and Nicholas Grossman. And then on the power play, Vincent Lecavalier remains hot, getting his 5th of the year after scoring a hat trick against the New York Islanders, assisted by Claude Giroux and Wayne Simmons. So 2 assists on the night for Wayne Simmons. Steve Mason would get the start in goal. He was really good despite the loss. 34 saves on 37 shots, a .919 save percentage. But the Flyers, they had some shooters in the game as well. Scott Hartnell led the Flyers with 7 shots on goal, couldn't convert. Matt Reed had 5 shots on goal and a goal, obviously. Vinny Lecavalier, 4 shots and a goal. So it was a shooting gallery all around. Congratulations, though, to the Anaheim Ducks. But bad news for Ducks fans. Once again, yet another injury for the Anaheim Ducks. That seems to have been a theme on this road trip. Teemu Selanne, the Finnish Flash, unfortunately, in his final season, this time it would be his turn, leaving the game with a bloody, swollen mouth and several lost teeth after getting hit in the mouth with a stick. No word on how long he could be out for in his final NHL season. Taking a high stick from Philadelphia Flyer defenseman Luke Schenn, possibly his own teammate Emerson Edom. Hopefully Selanne can make a quick and healthy return. As with all the Ducks, as they have just been they've had the most injuries in the National Hockey League this season. But congratulations to the Ducks on a huge win. Next, we have the Dallas Stars and the Montreal Canadiens. In Montreal, the Habs coming up with a big win by a final score of 2-1 in a relatively quiet game. Montreal goals being scored by Michael Bournival, his third of the year, assisted by Rafael Diaz and Thomas Plekanec. Bournival remains on a hot streak. And then Rennie Bourque would get his 4th of the year, which would be the game-winning goal, assisted by Rafael Diaz. 2 assists on the night for Rafael Diaz. He was really good in the game. As was Douglas Murray, 6 hits on the night. That led both teams. Michael Bournival led the Habs with 4 shots on goal. Carey Price, really good in goal. He was the number 1 star of the game and well-deserved. 26 saves and 27 shots, a .963 save percentage. Congratulations to him. For the Dallas Stars, their only goal of the night coming from Cody Eakin, his third of the year, assisted by Brendan Dillon. For the Dallas Stars, Alex Chiasson, however you say his name, led the game with 5 shots on goal. And the Stars, of course, Sergei Gonchar, 4 shots on goal. Antoine Roussel, 5 minutes in penalties, as did Francis Bouillon. Kari Lehtinen getting the starting goal for the Stars. 22 saves and 24 shots, a .917 save percentage. Not a terrible night for him, but they just couldn't get the win. Congrats to the Montreal Canadiens. Next, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New Jersey Devils in New Jersey. The Devils getting themselves their first win streak of the season. They win this one by a final score of 2-1, coming off a victory, a very stunning victory against the Boston Bruins. They now beat the Tampa Bay Lightning, beating the 2 top teams in the Eastern Conference this year, back-to-back. 2-1 the final score. Devils getting it started with a short-handed goal by Adam Henrique, his 4th of the year, assisted by Patrick Elias. And then Jaromir Jagr would get his 3rd of the year on a breakaway, unassisted. That not only would turn out to be the game-winning goal, folks, but he would go on to set an NHL record last night with his 119th career game-winning goal, passing Phil Esposito for first all-time. Jagr's goal was the 684th career goal, which puts him only 6 away from Pittsburgh Penguins legend and former teammate and line mate Mario Lemieux for 9th all-time. Jaromir Jagr desperately seeking to pass his former mentor and friend. and line mate as well. So congratulations to Jaromir Jagr on a great achievement. Marty Brodeur getting the starting goal with Corey Schneider still out. Didn't have to face much in the game. Just 16 saves on just 17 shots and 941 save percentage. Obviously, good enough to be the game's second star, though. So congratulations to Marty Brodeur. For the Tampa Bay Lightning, their only goal of the game coming on the power play by Steven Stamkos, his 9th of the year, assisted by Teddy Purcell and Ryan Malone. Ben Bishop in goal for the Lightning, getting just his second loss of the season, 20 saves on 22 shots and 909 save percentage. Not a solid performance, but not one of the better nights for Ben Bishop. So congratulations to the New Jersey Devils, but more so, congratulations to Jaromir Jagr on a record-setting achievement. Next, we have the Ottawa Senators and the Chicago Blackhawks in Chicago. Probably the most intriguing game of the night. The Hawks, after it looked like they were down and out of it, they were down 2-1. They were down 4-2. They were down 4-3. They were down and out of it. They come back to win off a hat trick from their captain, Jonathan Toews, 6-5, the final score of the game. Unbelievable performance. A truly unbelievable performance for the Hawks, in particular Jonathan Toews, a 4-point night for him, a hat trick and an assist to go along with it. Marian Hossa, a goal and 2 assists. Andrew Shaw, 2 goals. Patrick Sharp, 2 assists. Those are all the multi-point performers for the Hawks. For the Sens, a goal and an assist by Kyle Turris, a goal and an assist by Milan Michalek, and 2 assists for Clark MacArthur. So a great night all around for many players. But let's get to the actual scoring summary. The Hawks again with the 6-5 victory. The first goal of the game being scored by Andrew Shaw on the power play, assisted by Patrick Sharp and Duncan Keith. Then after Ottawa took a 2-1 lead, Marian Hossa would get up on the board, assisted by Jonathan Toews and Nicholas Hjalmarsson. Then Ottawa would take a 4-2 lead before Jonathan Toews would begin his hat trick, starting in the second period. His first of his hat trick, 5th, 6th, and 7th of the year, respectively. His first of his hat trick being assisted by Patrick Sharp and Marian Hossa. The second one coming a minute 20 into the third, assisted by Johnny Oduya. And then the goal to complete his hat trick would be assisted by Brent Seabrook and Marian Hossa. And then Andrew Shaw's second of the game would come, and that would be the eventual game winner, assisted by Jeremy Morin. And for Jeremy Morin, that's his first assist of the season, first point of the season as well. So congratulations there. For the Chicago Blackhawks, Marian Hossa led their team with 5 shots on goal. Other guys like Patrick Sharp, Jonathan Toews, and Andrew Shaw each had 4 shots on goal. The only star held off the board in this game was Patrick Kane. He did not have a point. He only had 2 shots on goal, and he was a -1. So the Sens shut Patrick Kane down, but in doing so, they opened the door for their other stars, Jonathan Toews, Marian Hossa, and Patrick Sharp. Nikolai Khabibulin would actually get the start in goal for this game, and he was not good at all. 18 saves on 22 shots and 18 save percentage. He was pulled after giving up the 4th one for Corey Crawford. Corey Crawford changes the game around. 14 saves on 15 shots and 933 save percentage, and he was credited with the win, even though he did not start the game. Michael Handzus and Michael Roosevelt and Ben Smith all did not play. They were all, I guess, healthy scratches, or some of them may have been hurt. Brad Mills was in the game. Jeremy Morin in the game. He had an assist. Brandon Peary in the game as well. So congrats to the Hawks, though, on a huge win. Brent Seabrook, by the way, 6 hits in the game. That led both teams. Mark Mathot had 5 for the Sens to lead them. For the Ottawa Senators, let's go to their goals now. Their goals being scored by Milan Michalek to tie the game at 1 with just a minute remaining in the first, assisted by Bobby Ryan. Then Kyle Turris would get himself a power play goal, his second of the year, assisted by Clark MacArthur and Erik Karlsson. Then Joe Corvo would at long last get his first of the season, his first goal in his second stint as an Ottawa Senator, assisted by Jason Spezza and Milan Michalek. Then Mika Zibanejad would get his second of the season, assisted by Kyle Turris and Clark MacArthur. And then after that 4-goal flurry and hat-trick by Jonathan Toews, Zach Smith would score. After Andrew Shaw's eventual game winner, Zach Smith would score just 13 seconds later, his third of the year unassisted. So there you have that. Craig Anderson played the entire game, making 34 saves on 40 shots, an .850 save percentage. As many saves as he made, and though he faced a lot of shots, not a great night for him. They gave up so many goals. Jonathan Toews just flew circles around him. But a lot of Sens getting shots on goal. 4 for Kyle Turris, 6 for Jason Spezza. That led players from both teams. 5 for Joe Corvo and 5 for Mika Zibanejad. So, congratulations to the Chicago Blackhawks on a big win on a huge game. Next, we have the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues. In St. Louis, the Blues coming up with a huge win by a final score of 3-2. For the St. Louis Blues, their goals being scored by Brendan Morrow, assisted by Ryan Reeves, his first assist of the year, and Kevin Shattenkirk. Blues never trailed in the game. Then Alex Pietrangelo would get up on the board, his second of the year, assisted by TJ Oshie. And then with a minute remaining in the third period, Alexander Steen continues his hot streak, getting his 11th of the year, a power play goal, assisted by Jay Bouwmeester and Alex Pietrangelo. Steen is just enjoying probably the best season of his career right now. Yaroslav Halak was brilliant in goal, 21 saves on 23 shots, a .913 save percentage. Congratulations to him. Alexander Steen also led the game with 5 shots on goal. He was the only big-time shooter. Ryan Reeves, 5 hits in the game. 5 hits in the game to lead all players. For the Winnipeg Jets, their goals coming from Blake Wheeler on the power play, assisted by Andrew Ladd and Dustin Byfuglien. And then Brian Little would get himself a short-handed goal, assisted by Andrew Ladd. So the Jets tied the game twice. They never led. Andre Pavlik would get the starting goal, and he was good despite the loss. 30 saves on 33 shots, a .909 save percentage. Mark Stewart had a big game also. 6 blocked shots for him. That led all players in that respect. Andrew Ladd, 2 assists on the night, and Alex Pietrangelo, a goal and an assist. So the only two multi-point performers. So congratulations, though, to the St. Louis Blues and Alexander Steen on what is probably the best season of his career. That is what he is enjoying right now. Next, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Edmonton Oilers in Edmonton. The Leafs dominate the Oilers with a 4-0 shutout victory. Richard Bachman right back in goal for the Oilers. And Sam Gagner making his season debut. Not a good season debut for him. The Leafs getting themselves a 4-0 win, and Phil Kessel enjoying a 4-point night, including 2 goals. So he would actually score the first goal of the game just a minute 8 into the first, assisted by Nazem Kadri and Mason Raymond. Then he would get the primary assist and only assist on the second goal of the game by James Van Riemsdyk. So James Van Riemsdyk, 6th of the year, assisted by Phil Kessel. Then Phil Kessel would get his second of the goal of the game, assisted by the captain, Dion Phaneuf, and Nazem Kadri. And then Nazem Kadri would get credit for a goal that originally looked like Morgan Riley's first NHL goal, but they gave it to Nazem Kadri, assisted by Morgan Riley and Phil Kessel. Phil Kessel, the secondary assist. So now Kessel with 9 goals and 9 assists on the season. So he was the best player on the ice by far. +4 rating for him. 2 goals, 2 assists. Nazem Kadri, a goal and 2 assists, a +4. So a 3-point night for him. Those were the multi-point performers of the night. Dion Phaneuf came up big with 6 block shots. James Reimer, he was out of this world in this game. A 43 save shutout. He's putting pressure on Jonathan Bernier, and he keeps the starting job up for grabs. Unbelievable by him. Really unbelievable by him. So congratulations to James Reimer. For the Edmonton Oilers, again, they were shut out, but a lot of shots on goal. Richard Bachman right back in net. Not a great night for him. Definitely nowhere near as good as his performance against the LA Kings. Just 22 saves on 26 shots and .846 save percentage. Not a great night for him. But let's talk about the shots. Ryan Jones, of all people, leading the Oilers with 8 shots on goal. Ales Hemsky would have 7. So unbelievable performances. But Nail Yakupov, game worse, -4. And in the game, Colton Orr and Luke Gazdic would have coincidental 10-minute misconduct penalties to lead the game. Aim in that respect. So congratulations to the Toronto Maple Leafs. By the way, the Oilers without David Perron for that game. So that was, and still without Taylor Hall. So congratulations though to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and congratulations to Phil Kessel and James Reimer as well. So congratulations to the Leafs. And last but certainly not least, we have the Los Angeles Kings and the Phoenix Coyotes in Phoenix. The Yotes coming up big with a 3-1 victory on home ice. The Phoenix Coyotes goals, both goals in the second period came late in the second period after a scoreless first period. Derek Morris would get his 3rd of the season, assisted by Kyle Chipchura, his first assist of the season, and Andy Mealy, Andy Mealy would get the secondary assist. He is a guy who has been waiting to get his first NHL point for so long. He's now 25 years old, former Hobey Baker Award winner. He finally gets his first NHL point on via an assist. Congratulations to Andy Mealy. Then, with 6 seconds remaining in the second period, the captain Shane Doan converts with a power play goal assisted by Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Keith Yandel. That would be the eventual game-winning goal. And then Kyle Chipchura getting his 2nd goal of the season, assisted by David Moss and Andy Mealy. He had 2 assists on the night. A great performance all around for the Phoenix Coyotes. For the Phoenix Coyotes, 2 assists for Andy Mealy, a goal and an assist for Kyle Chipchura. So congratulations on that respect. Mike Smith, though, was one of the real stars of the game. He was not the first star, but to me he should have been. 41 saves on 42 shots, a .976 save percentage. And for the Phoenix Coyotes, not only was it a shooting gallery for them, even though they didn't have as many shots as the Kings, they had a bit of a shooting gallery and a hitting gallery too. 7 shots on goal for Radim Vrbata. That led the Yotes and tied for the game lead in shots on goal. Hits though. The Yotes with hits. 5 hits for David Moss, 5 hits for Kyle Chipchura, and 5 hits for Rob Klinkhammer, 4 for Michael Bodker. Unbelievable. Block shots. Zbynek McCulloch, 7 block shots. Unbelievable. So the Yotes really outplayed the Kings with the exception of shots on goal. For the Los Angeles Kings, their only goal of the game coming late, Jarrett Stoll would score his first of the season on the power play unassisted. That would be the only LA goal. Ben Scrivens would get the start in net, and he was good despite the loss, I felt. 30 saves on 33 shots, a .909 save percentage. The shooting gallery for the Kings, though, 7 shots for Drew Doughty. He led the Kings in that regard. 4 for Jake Muzzin, 4 for Anze Kopitar, and 4 for Dwight King. So an unbelievable performance in that respect. Kyle Chipchura, by the way, 5 minutes in penalties. Same with Dan Carcillo. Dustin Brown, 4 hits on the night. So good. Congratulations, though, to Mike Smith and the Phoenix Coyotes on another big win. The Yotes, of course, were without Martin Hanzal, serving a 2-game suspension. And that is it for the game action. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we now go to this day in hockey history from October 30th. In 2003, Marc-Andre Fleury of the Pittsburgh Penguins would record his first career shutout. In Pittsburgh, and it would come on a 1-0 victory over the Chicago Blackhawks. He won the gold medal at the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver with Team Canada, even though he did not play a game. And that is your famous moment for October 30th. And that is going to do it. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. That is it. Thank you for joining me for. This has been episode 89 of Hockey on the Spot. But however, hold the phone. One last update that I just found out: the Detroit Red Wings have confirmed that Sergei Fedorov will wear the winged wheel one more time at the 2013 Winter Classic Alumni Showdown at Comerica Park. This year's Alumni Showdown will feature 2 games, as over 50 past players from both the Toronto Maple Leafs and Detroit Red Wings will play. That is just unbelievable. So that'll be fun, and this should promise to be an exciting Winter Classic between these two teams. And now, folks, that'll do it for episode 89 of Hockey on the Spot. This has been Hockey on the Spot with Brandon Barenfeld. I'm Brandon Barenfeld. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you, and have a great day.